Hey everybody, welcome to News by Muse. We are back for another interview about this great film called Fall. We are here with the director and writer Scott Mann. Scott, where did this whole thing come about? Because it's it was beautifully shot.
Thank you.
Great story. How did this whole project come about?
It came about from I guess a mutual fear of heights that myself and the co-writer Jonathan shared. We were actually filming on the top of a stadium in London at height, filming some kind of spectacle action thing, and it was where we were stood was actually what scared us, because there was a sheer drop, and just it got us into the idea of like, look, heights is something that it's been done in sequences in movies, but no one's ever really focused on it as a whole movie, as exploring the different kind of tones and ways to play with it. And as a tension device and as a conceptual tension device, there's a lot of experience that can be kind of shared that way. So, and it's hard, because it is hard to capture height and understand it psychologically, I think. And but it came from, that was the kernel of the idea, and then it kind of progressed into the script. Really.
Yeah. And it's such a great story because it, like the heights, the climbing, and everything else is background to this great story of redemption and getting over your fears.
Yeah,
and that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, thank you.
How was it to work with Grace and Virginia? We talked to them last week, and they were like, they loved working with you on this film.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say they were terrible. No, I love them to absolute bits. They were great, and right from the get-go, like they not only kind of imbued and like embodied the characters, and there are parts of both Ginny and Grace that are Becky and Hunter, right? So I think that really helps too. And not only the beautiful people part, but just being up for doing this thing in the first instance. Like I remember the first, interviews on it, and I was saying, look, we found the way we're going to shoot this. We found this big mountain with a cliff drop off, and we're building this structure at the edge of a cliff, and you're going to be up the top of that thing for real. And they were kind of like, oh, but they also got excited about the idea that like being up there and kind of really being in the moment and being able to capture these kind of like big epic sequences. So I think that they kind of embraced it as much as anything else. And it was during COVID, so everyone was kind of locked at home, and the idea of going to the desert and kind of having the freedom to do that was also very attractive for us all, I think. So that they went for it, man. They very much slowly but surely, like we had these great riggers and stunt folks, right? So we had like Ingrid leading the stunt team, the second unit. She had did such a great job and got riggers on who did the Dubai tower sequence with Tom Cruise, and so the girls felt comfortable and safe, and then they slowly got into just doing all their own stunts and things, and actually putting themselves right there front and center and doing these things at that crazy height for real,
Yeah, and that's the one thing, like, to get back to what we interviewed them last week, and they mentioned a lot of this was not in front of a green screen. It was practical sets, really there in front of you.
Yeah.
What was the idea? Like, you could have easily said, "I'm going to go green screen." Was it about being practical?
It was there's two things. One is I firmly kind of believe that practical and doing it for real, keeping it in camera. Like I've always felt this about stunts and things, and with action things I've done, especially in the past, I've always pushed do it for real, because capturing something new and fresh and something that's unexpected in a way, it always kind of beats out something that is just kind of programmed or referenced. So I think you always have that as a benefit. But yeah, I think especially when it comes to psychological horror, to really kind of tap into how someone feels and where someone is, and someone in an environment, you can tell if it's fake. You can tell there's kind of a sheen of fakery about it. So never once when you're looking at them in the tower is it green screen or blue screen. It's like we filmed it on location right there, and it's very much then you're able to kind of really be there with them, and there's an energy, weirdly, like when they're performing, getting beaten up by the sun and the wind and everything else that's thrown at them, and they're performing there, the energy kind of is kind of taken by the crew and the camera and everything that's around you. It kind of feeds into these single kind of moments, and I think we can tell that it's when it's real. Like our brains, even though you might not be able to kind of know why, I think your brain says it's real or not, and I think that's important. And the second is an economy and it's an economy thing that kind of comes into the film industry, frankly, like, because if we were to do this the green screen kind of the other way, it would been 50, $100 million movie, and it would need to star kind of X, Y, and Z, or be a franchise or an IP, right? It would have to be something kind of like weirdly tied into an IP, and it'd be superheroes go to that thing, and that, you know, that isn't the movie, right? So we went the whole other way, and we just got really good, the smallest group of talent we could kind of group together, some IMAX cameras, and we did this expedition up to the top of a mountain and did it for real. And I think that was, you know, doing it that way and kind of making the smaller version and just kind of having the freedom to do that enabled us to deliver the film we ended up with.
Yeah, because I think practical sets are just, you see so much CGI nowadays that you sometimes it doesn't become a character in the film. Whereas with practical sets, it becomes a living, breathing character within and what the actors are working on, and it really does show off screen.
Yeah, it's you're right. It's a third character. Like, you can argue there's 3 stars in the movie, right? It's like Becky Hunter and the Tower, and the Tower, having the Tower there and being able to film it and kind of find it, you know, and let it kind of live and breathe is really important. And it looks, you know, it's like those things you can't kind of think of ahead of time. Like, look, it looks so different this morning because it rained last night and the light is in this way and it's been affected by the heat and things, you know, stuff like this that really kind of feeds into it. And it's all that nuance, I think, that adds to the believability that well, because it is real at the end of the day. You're just capturing reality at that point. So
yeah, and I think you pull a better job from your actors when you do that.
Yeah, I agree. Puts them in the moment, right? They can grab onto that and run with it, and it gives them something really to chew on. Whereas, you know, it's like the old story of Phantom Menace, right? We're doing that green screen for Star Wars. It's like the actors. It's more, the most important thing in a film is the actors, like without a doubt, like they are the center of everything, and we kind of experience and feel a film through them. So everything should be turned into that of like, how do they capture this experience? And that's why, like, putting them on top of that tower really helps them capture the experience, so they're not just in a green screen faking it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing I do want from watching it is this film coming on IMAX? Because I could see this in IMAX, not only my palms sweating. Palms were sweating watching it the way I saw the screen did was on my TV.
Oh, no, you didn't watch it on your TV. Oh, man.
Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do. And
you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, no, I get. Yeah, no, yeah.
But
no,
on an IMAX, I could just imagine how crazy this would be.
Yeah, we shot it for IMAX. We shot it on these large format digital IMAX cameras, and we actually, even when we shot it on the mountain, from the DP McGregor, he actually brought up some VR goggles, right? And so rather than looking on a little monitor to look at what we're filming, he kind of encouraged me to put these goggles on, so we were virtually in an IMAX theater watching what we were lining up, and that really changed how we framed the movie and how we shot the movie. And you'll notice it's quite. Yeah, well, it's very wide and cinematic, frankly, and it's like, and that was because we kind of looked at it through that lens. So I'm not sure of actual schedules. I know it's kind of IMAX in. We've got like an IMAX premiere in London, and I think there's varying different heights and size screens going on around the world. But I encourage everyone to watch it in the biggest screen possible for the most immersive experience possible, for sure.
Exactly, because this is a movie that, though I liked it when I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy my ticket because I saw my theater right up the street. It's showing it tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Oh,
I'm buying my ticket to go see it.
Yeah, please do.
To see it in a theater.
I love it.
And my final question is, what can you tell the MUSE TV audience to get them out? Because this movie was one, like, I cannot swear it enough. The cinematography is so good. The acting is good.
Yeah, thank you.
What can you tell the MUSE TV?
Well, I would say, if you want, I would look at it like this. I think Top Gun kind of gave us that taste of like what spectacle and cinematic spectacle can feel like, and what experience you can feel. And in a similar way, it's like Top Gun is like a roller coaster ride. This is like your Six Flags version. And I think as a reason to experience cinema in the way it's supposed to be experienced, I want to dare people to go to the biggest screen possible and experience this together, because I think it takes you through this traumatic thrill ride from start to end. But once you're strapped in and you've gone round, you get to the end of it, it actually takes you through something else too. And I think you get something out of it that really kind of gets to the heart, that gives us the escapism we need of today's world, but also rewards us at the end of it. So I hope people can kind of enjoy it like that and really enjoy cinema for what it was built for.
Exactly. Hey, Scott, thank you so much for stopping with us. Really appreciate it. And if
Thank
you want
you.
to Fall, comes out this Friday in the theater near you. If you can see it in IMAX, see it in IMAX. But if you want to see it earlier and you can't wait, it opens up here in LA a little earlier on Thursday,
Yeah.
6 o'clock showings right now. And thank you so much, Scott. For
Thank
stopping by.
you. Thanks very much. Thank you.